What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracka. Today's episode will be brought to you by peanuts destroying lesser humans since the year 2000. Just kidding. Although it is kind of funny how people are getting so many peanut allergies nowadays. It's like, really? Come on. Suck it up. Anyway, I got quite a review to do today. No new issues or anything, no shipments, just a review and talking about stuff, and something very strange and funny. I don't know if this was even possible, but I guess it is. I was working on some stuff at my desk here, and wound up falling asleep, taking a little nap at the desk, and when I woke up, apparently I drew all these. I don't know what the hell this is, but my fiance was telling me that I was drawing them while I was sleeping. My head was laying down on the left, and I had this marker pen in my hand, and this was a blank piece of paper, and I was just going like this while I was talking and muttering to myself, and I made all that. I don't know what the hell all that crap is, but I guess it's the inner workings of my mind. Apparently we have a weird-looking snowman over there, and some yin-yangs, and I guess the Fantastic Four crossed my mind at one point, and money. Didn't think that was actually possible, but apparently here it is. I guess I had something to do with I like to color things in. I don't know. As you can see, not everything was colored in, only certain spots. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. My mind is crazed. But next, I would like to thank some new subscribers. I hope I get this name right. Mercenaut, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. And King Gooch 13, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Also, check out obviously check out their channels, but SJ Taz 1, check out his stuff, Hippies Collectibles, Hero Hunter 81, Captain Cummings, Greco Fabulous, Oddfellow Thoughts, Coast and Bromstar, Dakasa DC Comics, Manga Stomp Time 07, Reader 1717, I believe I said that one, got the number right, I hope. Just to name a few. Why Not Art? I'm not naming everybody, but Cursive Man, throwing a few out there. Check out their stuff. Good stuff. Captain Strangelove. I'm thinking as I'm going along, I'm like, alright, there you go. I will do another shout out video down the line. I just want to do, when I do them, I like to do them big. I do them all at once so everyone gets their shout out and, have fun with it. Don't want to make it mandatory or make it like boring. Like, I'd like to thank everyone here. Thanks. Gotta make it cool. And I have to give some props, some credit to Greco Fabulous, man. He got me. Good job. He knows what I'm talking about. And Captain Cummings, like I said, check out his channel, and Comic Talk Podcast. Very, very cool show. I was watching the one on Saturday. Usually I only have it Fridays or Saturdays. They're always funny. And I'd like to take this moment to somewhat apologize, I guess, because I just hope that people didn't take my comedy, my jokes out of context, I guess. Just none of the stuff was in there made to be mean or anything. It's just me joking around, so I don't want anyone taking it the wrong way. So, just in case anyone did, I didn't mean to make it taken the wrong way. Yeah, there's that. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on from there. Craziness. I think it was Reader 1717 was saying that she wants to see some of my toy videos, which I haven't made yet. I've just been, like I've been telling everyone, I've been just really busy with stuff, and I've been lazy, so it's kind of a really bad combination. But I had also mentioned on the podcast as like somewhat of a because Captain Cummings talking about if anybody wants to be on his podcast, you just gotta really ask him, and he doesn't mind. I put up there that once I move, I'll definitely get on the podcast. Because right now I live with my fiance, obviously, and it's a one-bedroom apartment, and if she's not in here, she's in the bedroom, and she gets kind of pissed, because whenever I was always thinking about doing live events more and more, but she's just always, whenever I get a chance to do it, she's always either resting or, just coming in, and she's like, oh my god, she's like, shut up, I don't want to hear about comics anymore, oh my god, I can't take it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really do live shows. Right now, because I don't have my own area. But once I move and get my own area, then it wouldn't be a problem, because then she can not hear me at all. She could be down the hallway, and it's all good, because the walls are very, very thin around here. So, that's when I'll definitely go all out and go crazy with live shows, and podcasts, and won't matter because as long as I'm home, I'll be on there. But cool stuff. Um, but Reader 1717 was asking, about she wants to see some of the figures, stuff like that, which I will get to them. Like I said, I'm just really lazy and busy, so it's a weird combination, cancels each other out. But here's one thing: I'm gonna be packing up soon anyway. My Marvel Legends Iron Man Hulkbuster armor. Tony, you in there? I think he's in there. Yeah, he is. He opened up his thing, and there's Tony Stark. Very cool. Very cool. It also came with a sled, which I have somewhere around. Packed. It's out of me. I'm losing my mind with all the stuff that I'm trying to pack and sort, and it's getting crazy. But anyway, let's do a review. I'm going to do a review of some of the old issues, Spider-Man issues I read, and then of course some of the new ones. And yeah, let's get into this. I got a chance to read Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, Number 6. Basically, Spider-Woman you find out she's controlled and made by Dr. Octopus to siphon all the Spider-Women powers. Wasn't too bad. Spidey obviously finds a way to destroy her. Not destroy her, but beat her. Moving on. Amazing Spider-Man number 7. And that is Flash Thompson on the bottom with like a rocket racer suit kind of thing on. Apparently he gets knocked out by Mysterio, you find out later on. And it's kind of like if you've ever seen the Batman, the animated series, where Batman gets captured by the Mad Hatter, and Mad Hatter kind of gives him his own Wonderland, like, to keep him out of his way, and he gives Bruce Wayne like the perfect life, like, he's married to Selina, or getting married to Selina Kyle, his parents are alive, he's happy, and then of course it drives him insane because he knows something's wrong. That's pretty much what happens with this, is Flash Thompson, Spider-Man, Mary Jane, like all these people get trapped by Mysterio, and he gives them the ultimate life. Flash Thompson, it's focused on because apparently his mind comes out as the dominant one out of all the ones, because they're all kind of in a tube, and their consciousness is all kind of coming together because Mysterio wants to find out who Spider-Man is, and he figures if he gets all the people that Spider-Man knows, he'll find out, even though Peter Parker's in there, so it's weird. And but Flash Thompson's mind comes out as the dominant mind for some reason, and the world is based off of his ideas. Like Peter Parker's in a wheelchair. Flash Thompson teams up with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man isn't Peter Parker. It's because he doesn't know, I guess, obviously. So he teams up with Spider-Man, but Peter Parker's always like running around going, "This isn't right, this isn't right," because Peter Parker knows it's not right, and he's got that feeling. And Flash Thompson is like getting married to Mary Jane, and he was dating Gwen Stacy, and like everything's like just mixed up. And then Peter Parker in the wheelchair, his Uncle Ben's alive, so he's like, all right, something's really wrong, and snaps out of it kind of, and jumps out of the wheelchair. He's like, see, I told you there's something wrong, and convinces Flash that it's not reality, it's some kind of weird thing. And then Flash kind of starts seeing, like, he's looking out of the tube, and he sees the water bubbling, and he's like, oh my god, he's like, something's wrong, and they find out it's Mysterio, and that's pretty much what goes into the number 8, the whole storyline. So I covered 2 in one shot. Moving on to number 9, which Spider-Man saves some guy from an inferno that makes a list that has Peter Parker's name on it, and Spidey's trying to do detective work and figure out what his name has to do with all the stuff on there. And you find out it goes all the way back to when Spider-Man first became Spider-Man, and he's trying to get back with his wife and the whole big thing in this issue. But then you find out that Doc Ock is trying to kill this guy for some strange reason. And you find out the list has not really anything to do with Doc Ock or Peter Parker, or it's got something to do with this other character, which leads into number 10, which is this guy who looks like Wonder Man, who has the powers of Magneto and Gravitron, basically. And the shocking thing is, that's a girl. That is a girl. I was like, oh my god, no way. And when you read towards the end, you find out that she can morph into this character. So it was crazy. And then Peter Parker, him and Dr. Octopus, that's kind of a team. Guess they foreshadowed that early on. That they find out that it's a girl, and she was involved in the same accident that gave Dr. Octopus his arms and Spider-Man his powers, and she was caught with a radiation blast, and she found out she was able to do this. And then when she transforms into her normal-looking self, she's like a rotted girl with like green skin. It was weird. Um, but the one thing I didn't realize, which I don't know if they redid this origin thing. I really can't remember. I'm gonna have to read the first one of Volume 2 again. But in this thing, they claim that Spider-Man was going to Doctor Octavius, whatever experiment thing that he was in, and then Octavius' blast that made him Doctor Octopus also made Spider-Man in a radioactive, thing, whatever he was doing with the, the tentacles. The spider got nailed with that and bit Spider-Man, and he became that thing. Now, I always thought of that it was the original origin was Spider-Man. The spider came down and just in the nick of time of like this freaking beam shooting across or whatever. I don't remember how it really goes, and then it went off and bit Peter Parker. Now, like I said, I think they retold his origin, which would make better sense if you want to really get into it. You throw that kind of in there, but who knows? Brings me up to Amazing Spider-Man number 11, where he fights the Blob for like 2 seconds. Wasn't a bad book. It goes to show you, I guess, Spider-Man can outsmart the Blob and kick his ass. Moving on to some new issues that I got a chance to read. Uncanny X-Men number 1. Not too bad. Basically, Cyclops is trying to recruit his own New Mutants, basically, his own X-Men. And they keep saying some guy is on the SHIELD helicarrier, whatever thing it is. And you don't see who it is through the whole thing, really. And the character's like, keep saying, what you don't know about Cyclops is that he's depowered. His powers are out of control. So you don't know. These New Mutants don't know that they're basically following somebody who doesn't have powers or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's basically like a recruitment issue. He's going around trying to get all these people, and the character that's imprisoned by SHIELD, sort of, is stating that, if you kill him, you're going to make him a martyr, and then he'll be right, and all these people, especially mutants, are joining up with him because they think he's right. He's the voice of the voiceless, kind of like CM Punk. So everyone's joining him, and they shouldn't be. And then later on, you find out at the end that the person they're talking to in SHIELD is Magneto, and Magneto is just pissed because he blames Cyclops for losing his powers or being depowered to like almost nothing. Because Magneto, they had a fight where they show the Sentinels fighting Cyclops and Magneto and them. And Magic's like, there was a time, you could have turned these things inside out with like a blink. And he's like, now you're barely able to move them or even make them, avoid you or something like that. And he's like, yeah. And you don't find out until later on that how pissed off he is that he's like depowered basically. So apparently Magneto is the one who's like going to betray him. But I'm impressed. I like Cyclops' new look. I think it's a really cool outfit, and I love Magneto's new uniform, outfit, costume, whatever you want to call it. I think that's pretty kick-ass. So it wasn't too bad. I'm just getting tired of all this crap where they're like, we're getting rid of these issues, and then like a month later, here's a new issue of it, and this is the new series, and this is that, and it annoys me, because it's like, if you're gonna finish it, especially when you're saying you're finishing it. Like, if you're gonna, like, alright, let's use this for an example. Uncanny X-Men, the issue before, it's like, oh, it's the last issue, the final issue, it's over with, no more, blah, blah, blah. Yet, here's number 1. Now, if you're gonna do it, Marvel, don't treat people like they're idiots. Everyone knows you're gonna pump another one out eventually. So just say this is the end of volume, 5 or 6, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Because then at least people are kind of like, they don't feel like they're stupid. Like, oh, yeah, thanks a lot. Here we go, Marvel. You got me again. It's just always like, oh, it's the last final issue. Oh, my God, they're never going to be around again. Here's number 1. Same thing with this one. X-Men number 41, which is supposedly the final issue. Basically revolves around, which is an awesome cover of the old school X-Men. Basically revolves around Storm and Chamber and a couple other X-Men trying, Angel or Archangel, whatever you want to call him now. He looks like Angel but still has metal wings, so I don't know. Weird looking metal wings. Now they have like rotors in there. It's really strange. trying to get this another mutant they found, and the government's trying to get them to do Freedom Force. But this is another prime example. This is X-Men number 41. They claim it's the final issue. You know, that's it. They're done. Yet in 2 weeks they have X-Men number 1 coming out with a whole new team. Now it's again like Uncanny X-Force number 1 came out with Storm and Psylocke. X-Men number 1 now has like Jubilee, Storm, Psylocke, Rogue. So it's like all the ladies of the X-Men. So apparently Uncanny X-Force and X-Men now are going to be strictly the girls of the X-Men. Which nothing wrong with that. It's just, I just find it funny where it's like, final issue, that's it, we're done completely. Wait, 2 weeks from now we're going to have number 1. Haha, gotcha. Oh, man, so annoying. Moving on to the last issue I'm going to review, which I actually thought was cool. A lot of people, I've been watching videos and seeing reviews and saying they're really pissed off the way it ended. And then most people already know what I'm going to be talking about. It's Batman number 17, which is the conclusion to the death of the family. Which is, I took it the wrong way. I was reading a death in the family, and I didn't, for some reason, I'm like, oh, it's death in the family. They're going to kill somebody else. Death of the family. I'm such a dumbass sometimes. But I got to give him credit, man. It got me by surprise. It got me. Like, if you read it as like the Joker got you. He totally got you. I'm reading this thing like expecting all these things to be happening. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, Alfred's going to be under... Oh yeah, I might want to throw... I don't have my spoiler card anymore. Should have been a new one. Anyway, spoilers. So you might want to... If you didn't read it, you might want to skip ahead, and I'll tell you when it's all over with, and we'll go with that. But anyway, the Joker makes you believe that underneath this dinner thing is Alfred. Like, that's what you kind of led to believe. Like, oh my god, you know, he killed Alfred. No one's seen him. He chopped him up. He's going to feed him to everybody. Because the beginning of the thing, you see Batman and... was it Batman, Red Hood, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Robin all around this table. And the joke was going on and on about like all this crap. Excuse me. Hairball. Much better. Big red cup. She doesn't know how to party. Anyway. They're all around this table, and the sick thing is, like, they're all... Everyone but Batman is, like, wrapped in, like, bandages. Well, actually, I'm sorry. They have, like, hoods over them. So Batman doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's sitting at the table, and Joker's going on over and over about, like, all this stuff, and Batman's getting more and more pissed off, and he's like, you know, where's Alfred? You know, all this stuff. And he just keeps saying, you know, forget about it, don't worry about it. You know, you'll see him in good time. He's around. You know, keep alluding to that's what's in front of you is pieces of Alfred. And Batman goes to get up, and Joker's like, if you get up, he's like, you're going to destroy everybody. And he's like, you know, you don't smell that? And Batman's like, oh, it's gasoline. He's like, connected to your feet are flints. He's like, so when you stand up, it's going to spark, and it's going to light everybody on fire. Everyone's doused in gasoline. Good touch. So then the Joker rings a bell, and you see Alfred come out of like a hole, because they're in a cave, and he comes out of a hole with all these you know, he serves them dinner or whatever it is, you know, the platters, and he's like, you can remove their masks, you know, their hoods, and he takes off the hoods, and everybody around is covered in bandages with blood all over them. So you're like, what the hell? You know, obviously Alfred's alive, because there he is. He's doing the Joker's bidding, and everybody is covered in bandages, gauze, you know, wrapped up, and it's all soaked in blood. And Batman's, what'd you do? And like, they're kind of like, you know, our faces are numb, what's going on? And Joker lifts up the things, and in in the platter is their face. So you have like the Red Hood's face is in his platter, Batgirl's face is in her platter, and he leads you to believe that the Joker cut their faces off and put it in a thing. And Batman just snaps, because Joker's like, oh, you know, it's easy to do. You just do a little cut here, a little cut there, and just pull. It's amazing how fast it comes off. And they all think that it's true, because they're like, oh, our faces are numb, oh my god. Batman snaps, stands up, lights everybody on fire, and the Joker's just kind of like in shock that he did it. And Batman's like, you know, you don't know me very well, and he's like, I know these caves better than anyone, and blows a hole in the top of the ceiling. and all this water comes out and puts everybody out as the Joker takes off. And Batman like runs over to Damian, the little bastard, and he's taking off his bandages, and Damian's like, oh my god, oh my god. He's like, is it, how bad is it? My face is totally numb. I don't know. And Batman looks at him. He's like, you're all right. And he's like, he's like, no, seriously, tell me. He's like, no. He's like, you're fine. And they take off the bandages. It was a joke. Joker got everybody thinking that he ripped their face off. He didn't do anything. He didn't touch them. They looked perfectly normal. And of course, Batman, because the Joker was going on about how Batman wouldn't kill him and all this stuff. Batman looks like he's at the point where he's gonna kill him. He's done. He's had it. And there was this thing that Oddfellow Thoughts was saying on the podcast, which is totally true. It's just like Batman is like, if I kill you, the way Gotham is, something worse is gonna come around. He's like, so you're kind of like almost like the guardian of Gotham in a way. Like you keep the worst stuff away, I guess. So I have to deal with you to keep things at a level, I guess that he can take care of in a way. And the Joker was kind of like, oh, you don't even know who I am and all this stuff. And Batman's like, I know exactly who you are. And like he was gonna I guess reveal to him who he is. And Joker winds up falling off of this waterfall thing, and you see his face land on a stalactite. And it's like, I know a lot of people were pissed, like, oh, it's like the crappy setting. I'm like, not really. I mean, it was cool because it did have such a build-up. But I was just like, wow, the bastard got me. Like, I was expecting all those things, and none of it happened. Like, it was all opposite of what I thought was going to happen. So that was cool. And Joker's not dead. I'll be back. You know how that's going to go. But another cool thing, very interesting thing towards the end, is, I think it was Alfred's like, Joker knows who you are. When he's like, nah, he's like, he really doesn't know who I am. He's like, and I couldn't explain it to anybody. He's like, because you wouldn't know. He's like, one time, I went to Arkham Asylum to visit him as Bruce Wayne, and he goes, he didn't have a clue that I was Batman. He looked at me and didn't notice that I wasn't Batman. He's like, so I know. I looked into his eyes. He's like, I know for a fact all the stuff he was claiming. He doesn't have a clue. He doesn't know that he's Batman and the other people are who they are. But it was cool. I liked it. Again, a lot of people hated it. They didn't like the ending, but I thought it was pretty damn cool. Excuse me, another hairball. I think I'm actually getting sick from them. Gotta stop eating those cats. But anyway, I thought it was cool. I liked it. I was joking on the podcast, which is it's true. It's like, I just can't stand Damian Wayne. Everyone's like, how do you not like Damian? He's awesome. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's just maybe the way he's just drawn. I know it sounds weird, but he just looks like a Muppet. He's just kind of like, I'm an assassin. I was an assassin since I was 10 years old. And he's like Batman dark, in a way. Like, if he became Batman, he could be like this most evilest Batman ever, but then he's trying to like fight and be good, so I don't know. And there's a rumor they're killing him off anyway, so who knows how it's going to go. Which would be quite an interesting tale. Who knows. But another rumor I had heard that I was talking about on the podcast that people were wondering if it was true or not, which I don't know. It's something I was reading. There's this thing called on Facebook called like 1 million votes to save Wolverine or something crap like that. And they had a letter from Marvel that was showing, which again, one of my friends that actually works in Marvel was actually confirming it. So it's, but he says it's not what you think it is. So, like I said, I'm not going to tell you who he is because he's getting in a lot of trouble. But the letter basically was saying that they want to shake things up at Marvel. Now that the success of Superior Spider-Man is happening and everyone's kind of like, it's a pretty cool book, we're enjoying it. They're like, Marvel's basically, what can we do now? I know, let's kill off another character. So, supposedly in 2014, they're killing Wolverine by some supernatural means. It's going to get around his healing factor. It's going to get around the fact that he's always coming back from the dead. When he gets on the brink of death and he shows back up. But my friend was telling me, he goes, it's not 100% accurate or true. He's like, they're going to do something where it's supposed to kill Wolverine, I guess, but they're going to do the same thing where he'll be gone for a while, but not completely gone, and he'll still have this book or whatever. I'm just like, oh my god. He's like, it's a work in progress. He's like, they got a year to figure it out. But he said basically the next death is going to be Wolverine. So the next person who drops dead in Marvel will be Wolverine, which is crazy. Which brings me to another interesting point, which I'm just amazed at. Savage Wolverine, number 1. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. Waiting for number 2. I think I ordered some something. Or I'm going to pick it. I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, I thought that was the book that's going to take over basically the Wolverine stuff and, and call it a day. But now I'm reading that they're canceling Savage Wolverine and remaking Wolverine, like a regular Wolverine series, just Wolverine. The Wolverine, they're calling it. So it's like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I'm looking, I was like, all right, how long do you have with Savage Wolverine before they cancel it? From what I was reading, my friend was telling me they're only going to go to 10 issues, and then they're done. 10 to 20, they were trying to do 25, but I think it's going to be just 10. And then they're going to bring out the other Wolverine, that's it. I'm like, really? Way to screw me again, Marvel. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just getting a little... Should have Loki's, instead of Loki's rants or Loki's rage segment, where it's like, way to piss us off. A question that I was pondering myself when I was watching the shows on TV, well, not on TV, on the computer. Now this is like a weird, random thought, I guess, but let's see if anyone can answer it, because I sure as hell couldn't answer. I couldn't figure it out. The Power Rangers. Here we go. It's going to have a lot of stuff in here. The original Power Rangers, the ones, from 92, 93, whatever it is, with the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Blue Ranger, Tyrannosaurus Rex Zord and Dragon Zord, stuff like that. Those characters. I guess you can kind of do it for the newer ones or whatever branches out, but those are the ones that I enjoyed, the old ones. What the hell were they? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I was watching the old show, and you gotta bear with me on this one, because you're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Alright. Let's use the Green Ranger as example. Perfect example. Because he was the awesomest one. I love the Green Ranger. You got Tommy, Jason David Frank, who played Tommy, right? So, normal, ordinary kind of dude. Then he gets his power morpher coin. You know how it all goes. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. When they morph, he turns into the Green Ranger. He's got the helmet, he's got the the suit, the Zord, all that stuff, right? Now, actually, probably the Red Ranger would probably be a better... Alright, let's use the Red Ranger. It's easier. It's more, because the Green Ranger had the whole shield thing, and let's not get into that. Choose the Red Ranger. Normal, everyday dude. Gets the morphing coin, morphs into the Red Ranger, turns into that thing, right? Now, most people didn't notice or didn't pick up on it, but I see it. On the side of their helmet are the latches that take it off, right? So now, you're looking at it when they morph, they're more powerful, they're faster, they're this, they're that, they're indestructible kind of thing, When they get cut or shot at, the sparks fly out and all this stuff, right? So now there's my question. They're getting nailed, like you see the Red Ranger get nailed with a sword and all of a sudden sparks shoot out of his chest. He's like, oh, He gets shot with a laser and sparks shoot out of his chest when he's, the Red Ranger. Yet then later on in the show, you see them, when they unmorph, like they turn the coin or whatever it is and they turn back to normal. But on certain episodes, you see them as let's use him, like I said, the Red Ranger, and all of a sudden he'll unlock his helmet, take his helmet off, and he's perfectly normal teen, but in the costume. Now, that's my question. What the hell are they? Like, if they're supposed to be this indestructible thing, I guess maybe they're just wearing armor? Is that like like some kind of super armor? That's what I was deducing, that they're just wearing some kind of body armor, basically. But in the thing, like, they're morphing into this, changing into this character. Something like that's it. Maybe they're just wearing body armor. Because you would think... I was always thinking like Darkhawk, he takes the helmet off and you don't see what his face is because it's different than what it, is supposed to be. But they're normal. They take their helmet off and they're like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, Power Ranger. All right, time to go to work. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I did get it right and they're just wearing armor. But if you know, let me know. Anyone Power Ranger fans out there, let me know. I'd like to know what they're supposed to be. Yeah, good times. A lot of talk here and there. I'm gonna get to work on some of those videos I've been promising. Some toy videos, autograph videos. They will be coming around. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting up very soon my artwork video from a while ago. I have like 4 of them, so I might put up like 1 or 2 here and there. And my Mortal Kombat fan movie cast. It's only a cast that I had come up with my friends for just for fun, and I was actually going to try to make a fan-made Mortal Kombat movie, but it just never happened. Which my friends were kind of pissed, like, oh my god, you never made it, I really want to do this. I'm like, I know. But it just cost a lot of money just trying to get the costumes together and stuff like that. Just didn't have it, so didn't happen. But I will be throwing that up soon, on top of a video that I had made with my favorite superheroes and villains. I just kind of was bored one day and made them, so I'll throw them up there just for fun. And yeah, got a lot of stuff I got to get done. Hopefully, I know actually somebody was asking me a question. My friends were actually asking me too, what was going on with me and getting my own comic book store, because a lot of people like, you don't really talk about it that much anymore. And Hero Hunter 81 had mentioned me on his video saying that I had worked in a comic book store, which is totally true. I've actually worked in 2, almost 3 comic book stores in my lifetime, which I'll get back to the question later. But as for my own comic book store, I've been busting my ass, constantly trying to get this together, and every time I seem to get a step closer to actually achieving the goal, I get thrown 10 steps back. It's always, I move up a little, I get thrown all the way back. I move up a little, I get thrown all the way back. And certain points, it's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is insane, because no matter how hard I try, no matter how much I do, I'm not getting anywhere. Like, it's always one setback after the other. It's like, right now, I'm basically almost 100% back where I started originally. I'm like, I'm screwed. I'm like, oh, I have all this money, that I'm trying to put into this. I had this investor, all this stuff trying to get done. And I had the actual spot scoped out that I wanted to rent. Hopefully eventually buy it out, but I doubt that would happen. All fell through. And now my fiance and I, we're supposedly going to be moving the end of August, which we're hoping actually get our own house, which would be really cool. And I've been looking in the area, looking at North Carolina, looking in the area for there, seeing like how many comic book stores they have around there. Well, 1 for my own personal thing, but 2 to see if I'm actually gonna put my own store there. And who knows? Like I said, my backer that I had that was actually going to do a lot of the financial stuff dropped out. Just ran out of money. Was backing something else, and that cost a lot more money than he had thought. And now he's got to back out of our agreement, which is, what happens. Sucks. So now I'm looking for another investor, which I did have another one, which is in the family, but that's kind of... I really try to stay away from the whole family thing, because you don't want to really mess with that, because it can really get ugly. But even that's not really working that well right now, so who knows. And then I got my friends, they're like, you should go on Kickstarter and start your own thing like that. I'm like, not that it doesn't work, but you never seem to get anywhere near what you're looking for, and especially you want to open your own comic book store, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I didn't even fully realize how much money you have to put into the store just to get it up and running. Like a nice, size store. Like, you can do a small store, even that is expensive. But who knows? It's still it's something I'm not giving up on, because I would love to have my own store, just to have it as a career. Number one would be really cool. It'd be really fun. Like I said, I've with Hero Hunter 81, I have worked in comic book stores before. It really is great. It just sucks when you don't own the store in a way, because you're not really making any money. The first comic book store I technically worked at when I was 10 to when I was 14. 14 when I actually was getting paid money. From when I was 10 to when I was 14, the 4 years, I wasn't getting paid. I was just getting paid off in like comics, and help out an hour or two here and there. Not like, real work. Especially when you're in a comic store, it's not like work. You're just kind of like, all right, cool. Especially if you love it. And I did. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But when I actually was getting paid, the boss, the owner, Hal, he's like, you're 14, you got your working papers. Do you want to work for me, for real? And I said, yeah, absolutely. No problem. I'd love to work here. I got all my stuff ready. He was paying me on the books. I was making about $4 an hour, give or take. I think it was like $3.50, $4 an hour. This was in 1993. And I was only working like 1 or 2, maybe 3 hours a day. And maybe, I think the weekends I was there like 6 hours for the total. So 3 hours a day on the weekends. And so it was really nothing. I wasn't really making any money, but, it was still... I was working at a comic store. It's awesome. It's every fan's dream, kind of, not just to work there, but to own one eventually, but to work there is like, you're like, this is awesome. What do you do? I fold comics. I bag and board. I put them away. I talk about comics all day. It's cool. And then when I was technically helping out at Bailey's for a little while, I really wasn't getting paid that much money either. Same amount, $4, give or take here and there. Uh, that was about it. But then another comic store I almost worked at, which I probably would have been getting paid a lot more money. Well, not a lot more, but Captain Comics, I think it was. Yeah, that's what it was called. I was working for EB Games, which became GameStop at the time in 2003. And Captain Comics was a couple blocks over from, well, walking wise, it would be about a 30 minute walk. But if you drove, it was like a 10-minute drive from where I was working at the video game store. And the owner, his wife had come in, and I'd recognized him. Like, oh, don't you work at the Captain Comics comic store? Because I was going there every now and then. It wasn't a bad store. There was a one in, I think it was, where was I working? I think it was Plainview, the edge of Plainview. And they had another store in New Hyde Park, which they still have, I think. But the other store in Plainview, you come to the store? I'm like, yeah, I was like, I go there when I can, it's closer than the other stores. I can walk to it, because I didn't have a car at the time. And I helped her with her video game stuff. Her son was buying a video game, and I helped him out and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, we're looking for, somebody to work the register because the person we have is going to college and doesn't have the time and all this stuff. Would you be interested? And I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I can work for a comic store and a video game store at the same time. I was like, that's insane. But my boss at the time wouldn't give me the time to work there. He's like, yeah, he's like, no problem. He's like, just if you give him a set schedule, I'll work around it. Because when I was working at the game store, there was no set schedule. It's like you had to come in this day and like, oh, we need you tomorrow. Come in tomorrow. Oh, you're off Wednesday. All right, you take the day off, and then Wednesday morning they'd call you. Oh, we need you to come in. It's like, so it was almost like being a doctor. Like you were on call like all the time because people were calling sick. Nobody wanted to go. I was like, I didn't mind being there. But the only thing that always pissed me off is when I have a day off, I can't stand getting called in. It's so annoying because, especially if you plan something. I've gotten in so much trouble with my fiance when we were dating. Well, I'm still dating. I'm dating. I guess I'm still playing with it. When we were first going out, we had plans. She's like, oh, we're going to this theater. This what the hell was it? Musical. Ugh, hate musicals. Shh. But she's like, yeah, we're going to, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. It's this time. You want to go? Oh, yeah, I'm going to go buy tickets. Then I get called up from, oh, I need you to come in. I was like, well, I have the day off. Oh, yeah, but this guy called in sick. You have to be here because you're good at this or whatever, kiss my ass. I'm like, well, I already paid for tickets. Oh, well, it sucks, but, do you want to keep your job or do you want to go to a musical? Granted, I would always be like, yeah, I got to go to work, because I'd rather go there than a musical, but, But anyway. Off track. So yeah, I wound up not taking the job at Captain Comics, and I guess it didn't really matter because a couple weeks later they closed down. So I guess maybe I don't know. Don't mess with me. I can close down your store. But yes. So it is true. I've worked at comic stores before, and I absolutely love it. I recommend it if you could ever get a job at a comic store, as long as you like the store and you know the people there. Then it's cool. Because I have seen some comic stores that blow. Like where they're just evil bastards, like Cosmic Comics, I believe it's called. The guy you're only allowed to look in his store by appointment, and the guy's constantly watching porn. So that's a little odd, and I don't think I'd ever want to work for that guy. Hey, how are you? Whoa. No. Yeah, but I heard that guy's a complete dick. So it's like it all depends. I've been lucky. The comic stores I've worked at are frequented. They're actually pretty cool. Everyone's really nice there. Especially when, like I said, I worked for FunQuest, which was with Hal when I was a kid. Free lunch. Pizza. When you're a kid, pizza's the shit. Yeah, pizza every day. 24/7. But, yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling. This is a very extremely long video. I didn't think it was going to be that long. But if you like what you see, please hit the like button. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And I have tons more stuff that I'm actually going to... I'm kind of charged, even though I'm busy. I'm going to try to get it done. And I'm going to throw it up here. And throw it up here. There it is. Anyway, it's not the size of your man cave that matters. It's what you have in it that counts. Later.